You reach for a bottle of water thinking it's the purest, safest choice for you, a symbol of health. But what if that's a lie? What if you're just paying for glorified tap water loaded with microplastics and chemicals? Some brands have even been caught adding ingredients to make you thirstier. Today, we expose the 9 bottled water brands to avoid at all costs and reveal the only 2 worth your money. Before we dive in, subscribe now to protect yourself from these corporate lies. And comment below, which brand of bottled water is sitting in your fridge right now? Kicking things off at number 9, we have a brand that's in every gas station, every vending machine, every grocery store in America. Aquafina. Just listen to that sound. That familiar crinkle of the thin plastic bottle. Now look at the label. You see those sharp, majestic blue mountains? What do you think of? A remote, icy spring high up in the wilderness, untouched by man? That's what they want you to think. That's the story PepsiCo sells you. But it's a lie. The first crack in this perfect illusion is the source. The shocking truth is that Aquafina isn't from a pristine mountain spring. It's from public water systems. That's right, it's tap water. They take the same water that comes out of your faucet, put it through a filtration process, and then sell it back to you for a staggering 2,000 times markup. You are paying a massive premium for a glorified version of what you already have. But the betrayal goes so much deeper. They call their process a Hide RO7 system. It sounds high-tech, but it's a form of reverse osmosis, so aggressive it strips everything out of the water. Not just potential contaminants, but all the beneficial minerals your body desperately needs, especially as you get older. The calcium for your bones, the magnesium for your heart and blood pressure, the potassium for your nerves, all gone. You're left with dead, acidic water. And studies have consistently found microplastics in major bottled water brands, with Aquafina being no exception. Tiny particles of plastic floating in the very water you're drinking to be pure. So I have to ask you, would you knowingly pay a fortune for demineralized, acidic tap water laced with plastic, sold to you by a soda company? Is the convenience of that bottle worth the risk and the absolute disrespect to your intelligence? You've been lied to, but now you know the truth. Coming in at number 8, we have the brand that the internet loves to hate, Dasani. Let's be honest. Have you ever taken a sip and thought to yourself, this water tastes thick? It has a strange, almost salty flavor that you can't quite place. You're not imagining it. For years, people have felt that something was off, and today we're confirming that suspicion. The uncomfortable truth is hiding right on the label. Unlike pure water, Dasani has an ingredients list. After Coca-Cola purifies the municipal tap water, they add things back in. Specifically, magnesium sulfate, potassium chloride, and salt. Yes, salt. Their reason? For taste. But magnesium sulfate is the chemical name for Epsom salt. These additives are the reason it has that distinct, unnatural mouthfeel. It's not just purified water. It's a formula, a manufactured beverage, but the story gets so much worse. In 2004, Coca-Cola tried to launch Dasani in the United Kingdom. It was a complete disaster. The British press discovered the water came from the tap in their London factory and roasted them for it. But then, it turned dangerous. Health officials found illegal levels of bromate, a chemical that is a potential carcinogen. They were forced to recall every single bottle in the country. So I have to ask you, why is a company adding salt to its water? Especially for those of us over 45 who are carefully watching our blood pressure and sodium intake. Is it really to improve the taste? Or is it a cynical ploy to make you feel just a little bit thirstier, so you reach for another bottle? You've been given a manufactured product masquerading as pure water. Don't fall for it. Claiming the number 7 spot is a brand that has spent decades building an image of trust, Nestlé Pure Life. For generations, we were taught that the Nestlé name was safe, wholesome, family-friendly, a staple in our homes. But behind that familiar blue logo is a corporate giant with a dark, predatory secret when it comes to the water they put their name on. The name itself promises a pure life, a promise that feels reassuring and safe. But the reality is anything but pure. Like the others we've mentioned, it's often just filtered municipal water. But the real betrayal isn't what's in the bottle, it's how they get it. Nestlé has a global reputation for draining the lifeblood out of communities, especially during their most desperate times. We're talking about them taking millions of gallons of water from drought-stricken areas in California and Michigan, paying pennies for it, and then selling it back to the public for a fortune. In one infamous case, they were caught taking water from a national forest on a permit that had expired decades earlier. while the surrounding communities were under strict water rationing. The arrogance is stunning. But the most immediate danger to you and your family is what's actually floating inside that bottle. In a major investigation that tested dozens of the world's most popular bottled water brands, Nestlé Pure Life was found to contain some of the highest levels of microplastic contamination. So ask yourself, is a cheap bottle of water worth supporting a company with a history of putting profits over people? Are you comfortable feeding your family water contaminated with microscopic plastic particles? Every dollar you spend is a vote. A vote for Nestlé is a vote for corporate greed. It's time to stop funding them. At number 6, we have the brands that promise you a taste of the wilderness. Deer Park in the east and Arrowhead out west. You see the labels, decorated with lush green forests and crystal clear springs. The promise is right there in bold letters. 100% natural spring water. It feels different, doesn't it? It feels like you're bypassing the corporate factories and drinking directly from nature. You paid more for it because you thought you were choosing something pure. But that feeling of purity is a carefully crafted illusion. The first lie is that the term spring water is much looser than you'd imagine. And in the case of these brands, it's led to massive legal battles. Their parent company was hit with a class action lawsuit, alleging that much of their water isn't from the idyllic springs on the label, but from common groundwater sources, sometimes shockingly close to potential contamination. The investigation deepens, and it gets ugly. Court documents revealed allegations that some sources were essentially just wells drilled in a parking lot. But the single most damaging fact, the one that shatters the entire natural myth, comes from recent independent testing. Studies found concerning levels of PFAS chemicals in some of these so-called natural spring waters. These are toxic forever chemicals that build up in your body over time. For anyone over 50, this is terrifying. PFAS are linked to thyroid disease, liver problems, high cholesterol, and a weakened immune system, conditions we are already fighting to keep at bay. They sold you a postcard of a mountain stream, but the reality is a system that bottles and sells a fantasy. Is a pretty label worth the risk of what's hiding in the water? The truth is, you can't trust the picture on the front. You have to know the secrets behind it. Halfway through our list at number 5, we have a brand that feels like a betrayal from a trusted friend. Kirkland Signature. Picture it. You're in Costco, cart piled high, feeling like the smartest shopper in the world. And there it is, a fortress of water bottles for a price that feels too good to be true. You trust the Kirkland name. It stands for quality at an unbeatable value. So you load up, confident you're making a great choice for your family's health and budget. But that feeling of being a savvy saver is hiding a disturbing truth. First, the water itself is nothing special. It's sourced from a third-party bottler, Niagara, and it's the same old story, filtered municipal tap water. But the real danger isn't the water, it's the bottle they put it in. Pick one up. Feel how flimsy it is, how it crackles and collapses in your hand. That's a cost-cutting measure, and it comes with a hidden risk. That cheap, thin plastic is far more likely to break down and leach chemicals into your water, especially when it gets warm. Think about the journey home from Costco, that case of water baking in your hot car or sitting for months in a warm garage. Scientific studies show that when PET, plastic, the kind used in these bottles, is heated, it can release chemicals like antimony, a catalyst used in its production that is considered a carcinogen. It also sheds microplastics at a higher rate. For those of us with aging bodies, introducing these contaminants is a risk we simply cannot afford. So I have to ask you, is saving a few cents worth drinking water from a container that could be poisoning you? Your smart buy just became a health gamble, and your family is the one paying the price. Next, at number 4, we have the one that calls itself Smart Water. It's sleek, it's minimalist. You see celebrities holding it. The bottle whispers sophistication. The label promises water that's vapor distilled, a process inspired by the clouds. They've added electrolytes for a crisp taste. It all sounds so scientific, so pure, so smart. But the question is, who is really being smart here? You for buying it, or the corporation for selling it? Let's pull back the curtain on the marketing gimmicks. Vapor distilled is an energy-intensive purification process that starts with simple municipal tap water. Yes, another Coca-Cola brand that takes your public water and sells it back to you at a luxury price. But the real deception is the added electrolytes. They make it sound like you're drinking a high-performance sports drink. In reality, the amount of calcium, magnesium, and potassium they add is so laughably small, it has zero nutritional or hydration benefit. You'd get more electrolytes from a single bite of a banana than from chugging an entire bottle of this stuff. It's so misleading that a consumer fraud lawsuit was filed, accusing them of deceptive marketing. But the most shocking betrayal of its pure image is this. Despite the fancy distillation process, recent independent lab tests found detectable levels of PFAS forever chemicals in smart water. These toxins are particularly dangerous for anyone over 50, linked to a host of health problems we are all trying to avoid. You are paying one of the highest prices on the shelf for cleverly marketed tap water, with useless levels of electrolytes that may still contain dangerous industrial chemicals. Is that a smart choice, or have you been played for a fool by a brilliant marketing team? Knowledge is power. Don't let them outsmart you again. Cracking our top 3. At number 3, we have the king of the health aisle, Essentia. You've seen it everywhere, clutched in the hands of fitness gurus and celebrities. The sleek black label shouts its promise: ionized hydration and a pH of 9.5 or higher. They claim it rehydrates you better and faster, that it's the key to unlocking peak performance and health. It's a compelling story, especially when we're trying to do everything right for our bodies as we age. But let's look past the hype. The first red flag is the outrageous price tag. This is some of the most expensive water on the shelf. And where does it come from? Not a sacred mountain spring. Once again, it's purified public water. It's put through a proprietary process to artificially raise its pH. You are paying a massive premium for manufactured alkaline water. Here's the part they don't want you to know. The science behind their claims is incredibly weak. Your body is a brilliant, self-regulating machine. Your stomach, for example, is intensely acidic for a reason to digest food and protect you from pathogens. The moment you drink that expensive 9.5 pH water, your powerful stomach acid instantly neutralizes it. Major medical authorities, including the Mayo Clinic, have stated there is little to no credible scientific evidence that alkaline water provides any of the incredible health benefits it claims, like slowing the aging process or preventing disease. The deception was so blatant that Essentia and its parent company, Nestlé, were hit with a lawsuit alleging their claims of superior hydration were completely false and misleading. So, would you pay 4 times the price for a product whose entire marketing platform is built on unproven science? They are preying on your desire for good health. Don't let them. Your body knows exactly what to do. Save your money. Our runner-up for the brand you must avoid, at number 2, is the ultimate status symbol in a bottle, Fiji water. You know this bottle. The square shape, the beautiful hibiscus flower, the promise of an untouched paradise. It's the water you see on the tables of the rich and famous. Shipped all the way from a remote artesian aquifer in Fiji, it's marketed as the purest water on Earth, a luxury untouched by man. But the beautiful story they sell you hides an ugly, shameful secret. First, let's talk about the journey. The carbon footprint to ship this heavy water thousands of miles across the ocean, from a tiny island in the Pacific to your local store, is an environmental disaster. It is the absolute opposite of responsible consumption. But that's not even the worst part. The real crime is an ethical one. The devastating hidden truth is that while this foreign-owned company extracts millions of gallons of pristine water from their land, a huge portion of the people of Fiji do not have access to safe, clean drinking water themselves. Let that sink in. They are selling a taste of paradise to the wealthy, while the people living in that paradise suffer. Reports from nonprofit organizations have highlighted this crisis for years. It is a stunning display of corporate colonialism. To add insult to injury, despite its reputation for purity, some tests have shown Fiji to have higher levels of arsenic than many other cheaper brands. So I ask you this: how does that smooth, soft water taste now, knowing that the very people who live on the land it comes from can't get a clean drink for their own families? No water is worth that. The luxury is a lie, bought at the expense of others. And the number 1 bottled water brand you must avoid at all costs is Voss. You know this bottle, that stunning minimalist glass cylinder. It's a piece of art. Designed by a creative director for Calvin Klein, it sits on the tables of the world's most expensive restaurants and in the hands of the most beautiful people. It doesn't just sell water, it sells elegance. It sells purity. It sells a story of a pristine artesian source deep in the untouched wilderness of southern Norway. But what if that entire identity is a fraud? The most impressive thing about Voss is the bottle itself, because the story behind the water is a complete fabrication. This was all exposed in a bombshell Norwegian television documentary. Investigative journalists traced the source of this ultra-premium water, and what they found was shocking. It wasn't a remote, protected artesian well. The Voss bottling plant was connected to the very same water supply as the local town. That's right. The most luxurious water in the world is municipal tap water. Now, to be fair, Norwegian tap water is known for being incredibly clean, but it is not the exclusive, rare, natural wonder they sold to the world for years, and for which they were sued for deceptive marketing. You were paying a fortune for the packaging. This is the ultimate betrayal of style over substance. They sold you a fashion statement filled with high quality, but nonetheless common, tap water. Now owned by a Thai-Chinese conglomerate, the pure Norwegian image is nothing more than a ghost, a marketing angle that has been thoroughly debunked. You were not paying for rare water. You were paying for a designer bottle. They counted on you being so dazzled by the outside, you'd never question what's on the inside. Never again. After all that deception, after all those lies, you're probably wondering if any bottled water is worth drinking. Is it all just a scam? I'm happy to tell you, no. There are a few good ones left, and we're starting with a true American original, Mountain Valley Spring Water. Just look at this bottle. That iconic green glass isn't just for a fancy, nostalgic look. It's the very first sign of quality. Unlike cheap, flimsy plastic that can leach chemicals into your water, glass is inert. It is the purest and safest material to store water in, protecting its taste and its integrity from the moment it's bottled to the moment you drink it. This brand's commitment to glass is a commitment to your health, but it's what's on the inside that truly sets it apart. For over 150 years, since 1871, this water has been sourced from a single, protected spring deep in the Ouachita Mountains of Arkansas. It is naturally alkaline and rich with the minerals our bodies crave. As we get older, the calcium for our bones, the magnesium for our heart health. This isn't manufactured alkalinity like Essentia. It's the real thing, crafted by nature. Their water quality reports are detailed and public. They have nothing to hide. This is the water that has been served in the White House for over a century, trusted by presidents and health experts alike. It's a legacy of purity. This is the gold standard. This is what you and your family deserve. A single, protected, natural source. A company with a long history of trust and a commitment to safe quality packaging. Finally, a brand that respects both the water and you. And finally, the second bottled water that is absolutely worth your money takes us on a journey to the heart of Italy. This is Acqua Panna. Imagine the rolling hills of Tuscany, a landscape so beautiful it has inspired artists for centuries. This is where this water begins its life. You've likely seen its elegant glass bottle on the tables of the world's best restaurants, chosen by chefs because its taste is uniquely smooth, clean, and never interferes with the food. That velvety texture isn't a marketing gimmick. It's a signature, earned over a 14-year journey through the earth. This is the very definition of a protected source. The water flows from a natural spring on the historic Villa Panna estate, a vast protected nature reserve that has been cherished since the time of the Medici family in the 1500s. It's naturally alkaline, and, crucially for anyone over 50 watching their health, it is exceptionally low in sodium. Its quality analysis is a testament to its purity. This isn't water that's been manipulated in a factory. It's a finished product delivered by nature. The company's job is not to invent a formula, but to be a steward of a natural treasure. We have seen the depths of corporate deception, the marketing lies, and the complete disregard for our health and intelligence. But brands like Acqua Panna and Mountain Valley prove that it doesn't have to be this way. They show us that true quality comes from a protected natural source, not a factory, from stewardship, not from exploitation. You've been armed with the truth. You can see past the clever labels and the empty promises. Now, you know the difference between a product that has been manufactured and a resource that has been preserved. Don't ever let them fool you again.